All right, let's start lesson number 2, the properties of logarithms. So the first property is the product property. So we have log base b of m times n. It is rewritten as log base b of m times log base b of n. And I was wrong, it's not times, plus sign. Okay. So log base b of m plus log base b of n. So you can condense or expand logarithms based on this property. So if you start with this, you expand it so that it looks like this. And if you start with something like this, you condense it down using this form. So our first three, we're condensing the long version into the shorter version. So we have log base 2 of 7 plus log base 2 of 4. So you're going to rewrite it as one logarithm. So we have log base 2 of 7 times 4. And then you can multiply the 7 times 4. So we have log base 2 of 28. And there we go. So for this one, we have the common log of 25 plus the common log of 4. So we rewrite it as log of 25 times 4. And then multiply 25 times 4, and we get log of 100. And there's our final answer. So for this one, we have some variables involved, and we have to remember our rules of exponents. So we have log base 4 of 2x plus log base 4 of 4x squared. So we have log base 4 of 2x times 4x squared. So we just write our base. So then 2 times 2 is 8, so we have 8. Then x times x squared is x cubed. So it's log base 3 of 8x cubed. Now down here, with these next three examples, we're going to expand them. So to expand log of 6, we need the factors of 6. So we have 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. And you can use either pairs of these. Okay. So we could have log base 6, or log of 6 plus log of 1, or log of 2 plus log of 3. Both of these are correct answers to get log of 6. So for number 5, the factors of 45, there's 1 and 45, 3 and 15, and 5 and 9. And we can pick any pair. I'm going to choose 3 and 15, and it becomes log base 7 of 3 plus log base 7 of 15. And that is our answer for that one. Now for 6, if we have log base 2 of 5x, the only factors to get 5 times x are 5 and x. So it becomes log of 2 base 2 of 5 plus log base 2 of x. And there's our answer. So that is what you can use the product property for. The next one is the quotient property. So we have log base b of m divided by n. So to expand that, we make it log base b of m, which is the numerator. Maybe if I can write an m properly, of m minus log base b of n. Okay, so now we're going to condense the first three. So 7 through 9, we're just going to condense them down to one logarithm. So we have log base 3 of 24 over 8. And then just simplify 24 over 8, which is 3. So our final answer is log base 3 of 3. There we go. So for number 8, we have log base 2 of 15 minus log base 2 of 15. So we have log of base 2 of 15 over 15, which simplifies to 1. So we have log base 2 of 1. All right, and now we have some exponents and variables involved. So we have log base 4 of x to the 9th minus log base 4 of x squared. So we can rewrite it as log base 4 of x to the 9th over x squared. And now remember, when you divide something with the same base, you subtract their exponents. So we have log base 4 of x to the 7th. There we go. Now we have log base 8 of 4 that we want to expand into the longer version. So to get 4, you can pick any two numbers that you can use that when you divide them, you get 4. So I'm going to use 36 and 9, because if you do 36 divided by 9, you get 4. So it becomes log base 8 of 36 minus log base 8 of 9. And there's your answer. You could have also used 12 and 3, or 48 and 16. Anything that when you divide, you get 4. Now for this one, it gives us specifically the fraction 1/3. So this is our numerator, this is our denominator, and we're just going to use these numbers to expand our function. So we have log base 5 of 1 minus log base 5 of 3. And there you go. And for 12, we have log of m over 7. So it tells us to use m and 7. So it just becomes log of m minus the log of 7. And there we go. So our next and final property is the power property. So now instead of multiplying or dividing, you have a base to a power. So in this case, we have log base b of m to the n power. To expand this, the exponent becomes the coefficient in front of the log, so that it becomes n of log base b of m, just like that. So if you wanted to condense it, you go the opposite direction and you take the coefficient and write it as the exponent with m. All right, so our first one, we have 5 log base 4 of 2. So 5 becomes the exponent with the 2. So we have log base 4 of 2 to the 5th power. And then 2 to the 5th power is 32. So this becomes log base 4 of 32. Okay. So for 14, we have 7 log base 2 of x. So our 7 is our exponent. So we have log base 2 of x to the 7th power. And because we don't know what x is, we're just going to leave it as that. And we have 1/3. Okay. So we have log of 8 to the 1/3 power. All right, so remember, we haven't covered fraction exponents yet, but 1/3 is the cube root exponent. So if we wanted, we could take the cube root of 8 so that we have log of 2 as our final answer. So now expanding that, we have log base 2 of 8 to the 7th power. The 7 becomes the coefficient in front of log. So it becomes 7 log base 2 of 8. All right, so for this one, we already have a coefficient, and we have this exponent that we're going to make into the coefficient. So we're going to take the x minus 1 and make it 3 x minus 1 in parentheses log of 4. And now distribute the 3. And then leave it in parentheses. So we have 3x minus 3 log base 4. So we know that everything in the set of parentheses is multiplied by the log. And then that's our final answer. Now, we have log base 7 of the square root of x. Okay. So to write the square root as an exponent, it is the exponent of 1/2. So we're going to change this to log base 7 of x to the 1/2 power. And then the 1/2 becomes our coefficient. So we have 1/2 log of 7 base 7 of x. And there's our final answer.